Welcome to Rokenjima. Just kidding, that's cringy. Welcome to the When We Cry Book Club podcast, where we will be discussing Umineko's third episode.
Whoa.
This is our 7th part of our summary and discussion following the bombshell of an ending wherein Beatrice reveals all, and us, the readers, are literally left in the dark as to what happened.
So today we're gonna be concluding EP3, isn't that right, Lorenzo?
We very much are. Wait, you guys didn't even introduce yourselves.
True.
What's going on, guys? Who's here?
Yeah, hi, I'm Ambi. I'm back. I always forget I go first, so I always get nervous.
Yeah, you do.
That's fine. I am the one who speaks prematurely, Des.
Which of premature?
And this is your very tired, voice raspy mushroom today. Hello.
Hardcore. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Yeah.
Don't worry about being premature, Des, because yes, this is the very last part of our discussion of episode 3. Finally.
Whoa.
Oh my god.
It's been so long.
Yeah, we're going out with a bang.
Yeah, right?
I'm gonna check when was the first episode of this released.
Oh god.
I think this is the longest, or like the episode with the most parts so far, and it's only going to get longer, so.
I believe so. So the first episode of EP3 we posted was posted on May 9th.
Wow.
That's not that bad. That's like 4 months. I think it's okay, right?
That's a good pace. And unfortunately, my friend, not to dox her, but IRL named Beatrice was like, okay, I think I'll read Umineko if I backseat game and watch you play it. And I'm like, I'm not going to reread this shit for the third time. Maybe. But I'm like, because I keep gushing about it to her and like everybody else who comes within earshot of me. And I'm like, if you did, that'd be cool, I guess. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
anyways, how are you guys doing? What's the lowdown?
While Mush went to a birthday yesterday, I went to the Spirit Halloween store.
Yes.
Yeah, got a whole bunch of knickknacks.
Spooky season.
Yes.
Yeah, but this is related to Umineko because I also went to the book thrift store, and I got and I found the first part of EP8 manga.
Oh my
Oh.
god.
No, wait, what?
Yeah.
How much did you pay for
No
it?
way.
How much did you pay for it?
I paid $30 for it.
30?
You know,
Nice.
I have told you this before, right? Like right now, Umineko manga could sell up to $200.
What?
Yes, you did. So when I saw that, I
What?
was like, oh, I wonder how much this is worth.
Holy shit.
Yep.
What a purchase.
Because Umineko manga are currently out of print, so and everybody even now wants it more. So all of the Umineko manga is extremely expensive, which is really annoying because because the bookstore next to my school used to have them all in stock, but I just like in 4 years ago when I was a freshman, so I bought like 2 volumes and gave Ambi it as a present.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
So now I'm just pissed.
Yeah, so now I have a part of EP7, 8, and I don't remember what the other part I had was. I think
I think I
4?
gave you EP4, yeah.
Yeah,
Part
yeah.
of EP4.
Nice. All of EP4?
No,
No,
only,
just
like, one volume.
just one parts of each of those E EPs.
Oh, okay, cool. So you basically have the whole series.
I think early ones are more expensive. I've seen it multiple times on like Reddit that people are posting like their old copies of Umineko and they sell it up to $200. It's like insane.
Jesus.
Damn.
People like this stupid story that much?
Well, it's also because nobody's doing any reprints, which makes it really bad. I mean, if you were buying it like 3-4 years ago, there was still like plenty of copies. Like I used to be able to find Umineko in a book, like in a
Barnes & Noble?
yeah, in a Barnes and Noble, yeah.
Yeah,
Damn.
same. But I was also like, I don't want to start in the middle of this story and didn't read Umineko prior, so I just ignored it. Same thing with the Higurashi manga.
Mm.
The Higurashi manga is not going to be out of reprint anytime soon. I can tell you that.
So I'm thinking, I mean, with the way, due to current events, I mean, pertaining to when they cry, sorry. I feel like maybe Umineko manga will be reprinted.
I
No,
really hope.
no. That's a big price to pay for an Umineko reprint. Stop. Don't speak it into existence.
It's going to happen. It's such a good story and everybody should read it. Anyways,
Anyways.
that's nice cop, Ambi. Good job.
Thank you.
Let's see. Who else wants to talk about their day? Go ahead.
So what have I been doing? I have been. Oh, I started learning Japanese for like the fourth time, but this time I actually got deep into it, and I had a week of like intense learning and learned like a lot of shit. But then we recorded the anniversary episode, and I edited for like 2 days straight, like the whole fucking day, and I lost the streak. But I will get back into it tomorrow. I'm gonna get back into the mindset of I gotta learn this fucking language. So yeah.
Are you using Duolingo?
No, fuck no. Learning Japanese with Duolingo, like that's fucking impossible, bro. Like if anybody wants to learn Japanese, like you cannot go wrong with human Japanese. Like it has a free version and it's the best shit ever. Like
What's it called? Human Japanese?
Yeah, it's a great fucking.
That's like Rick and Morty human music. But go on.
But yeah, I was gonna say, Des came up to Des like messaged me and was like, for some reason they don't want me to buy this app. I don't know why. Maybe they hate Portuguese people.
Oh, okay.
And then he like tried it again.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna explain it with the full details. So I tried buying the full version of the app some months ago, but it didn't let me because for some reason I have to insert my address, and it was telling me it was an invalid address, and I was like, "Bitch, I live here. What you telling me it's the wrong address? Like the fuck?"
Portugal's not real.
Did you live like this?
So then I typed it up on Google like some time ago, like 2 weeks ago, and I found out that fuck, it's not just me. Like Europe does not exist on the mobile version of the Play Store for some reason. So I bought the app through my laptop, and it accepted my address.
Dang, that's messed up.
Europhobes.
Wait, this is only like $20? Really?
No, it's 10. It's $10. Like you pay $10 to learn basic Japanese super easily.
Interesting. Well, I mean, I don't think I have that much focus to. Oh, you're freaking right. $10. I don't have the focus to
to learn
a whole ass language.
Same.
Though I think out of all of them, okay, like the most useful languages to learn for me probably would be in order, maybe Spanish and Chinese, and then maybe Japanese because I'm such a weeb, but I'm too lazy.
I think in order of the most important thing you should learn right now is Chinese. Like China's gonna butt fuck everybody in the world, so you better fucking start learning that language. Just saying.
I've heard that, yeah.
I better pick up on that toy-san, you know? Ugh, whatever. I'll get to it one day.
But Spanish is an important language to learn just so you understand the Spanish memes, which are great.
I mean, like, not to be weird, but it legit sounds like the sexiest language. So
Spanish?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes. You're saying it like, oh, okay, I speak Spanish all the time.
Oh, I wish I could say that. I will reveal I am of Hispanic descent, and I'm very whitewashed.
Yeah, same, but not Hispanic, but, also whitewashed.
Yeah.
So, oops. Good job, second, third generation of immigrants. Wait, did that make sense?
Yes, it did. It made sense.
I think we know what you're trying to say.
Okay, you know how like there's this weird like generational gap where like, they don't want their kids to meld better with American society, so they kind of like withhold their own culture, and then now this generation, aka us, are like, I want to embrace my heritage, but
yeah, but I can't speak a lick of
it
of anything.
Yes.
Sad.
So we fucked up.
Yep.
Whatever.
Lorenz and Mushroom, you are the only two people left.
Oh shoot, I gotta think, because okay, here's what I want to share. You guys remember like not years ago, but like 4-5 years ago, there was a webcomic called Killing Stalking making the rounds on Tumblr.
Yes.
Yes.
So I freaking read all of it. My friend Beatrice, she also read it, and we were like doing mini book clubs about it. It's quite messed up. We read the whole thing for some reason, and we're just like, man.
Was it worth
Is
it?
it worth the time?
I mean, so that tweet that says, it's like a joke about a guy who relates every piece of media he sees to like Boss Baby, because he's like, this movie's giving me Boss Baby vibes.
The man who only have seen Boss Baby times relates everything to Boss Baby. Yes, I see that.
Yes, that's
tweet.
us. We've only read Killing Stalking, and everything we see is like, this is giving us Killing Stalking vibes. Or you see like, and then at the same time, like my brother and his friends have been obsessed with Wanho from Monster X. and they keep watching workout videos of his, and we're just like, this is the weirdest shit ever. But I'm like, this guy looks like he has an emaciated twink in his basement. You know what I'm saying? So,
That joke is so fucking deep. I don't even.
Yeah, I know.
okay, it's like the first episode, first chapter of it. You'll get it after you read like the first chapter. If you guys read it too, we'll all just commiserate and be like, that was really weird and messed up.
There's a really good video essay about it online.
How did this? The author was in college when she wrote it. Like, how did she have the time, the mental capacity? Like, this is some traumatizing stuff. I don't know how she
wait,
just
it's like, do you think it's good? Do you think it's worthy to read it? Like, if I just want to do it, like, do you think it's like actually a good time, or actually a shit time a good time, or like is it just not worth it?
So I recommend things based off of if it's worth your time and time and effort to read. And since you read everything in like literal minutes, I think do it. We can complain about it or be like, that happened.
Okay.
I think it's a very that happened. I'd like to say the characters, not that they're good, but they're written pretty well.
I'm excited. I have read crazy shit before.
Okay, good. Everybody, let's read it. It's supposed to be a BL. It's not really a BL. It's disgusting. But that's what happened with my life recently.
Did I read anything recently? No. That's it.
That's it.
You're going to read Killing Stalking.
I'm gonna read Killing Stalking. I'm also kind of hungover and lost my voice, so that's why you know that my voice sounds bad if you hear me in the recording.
Bro, why are you killing the stockings? Sorry.
Anyway, I think we're ready. We're gonna start.
All right. Yeah. Okay, coolio. So we did agree that we would just review like 3 chapters, and my notes ended up taking the same amount of pages as
scary
a regular episode.
Right. So
I'll try to cut down on whatever. But anyways, as I said in the beginning, we cut off after Beatrice fought against Eva Bea about revealing the truth of Umineko, but us, the readers, aka Battler, are left in the dark. He covers his ears like Sam Smith, goes, la la la, I can't hear anything. And everything like explodes, I guess. Beatrice did a kamikaze, and now we're just like, okay, now what? They both, in the darkness, Battler and Beato, take form, or at least their sprites appear on screen, and Battler's like, oh, Beato, you're the true golden witch who used real magic. And Beato's like, oh my god, you believe in me, Battler? And the Ushirimiya mansion in Rokunjima and all the guests, including the furniture, the dead people, the who else would appear? Yeah, furniture and dead people materialize all around them, and Battler gets an Evangelion style congratulations.
True.
Am I saying it right? Evangelion?
I've heard it said either way.
Evangelion.
Because like angel, right? Evangelion, but Evangelion.
I just go with Eva. But then there's an Eva Ushirimiya, whatever. Oh, yeah.
Got an Evangelion style congratulations. They're in the Golden Land. It's apparently a dream world where everybody, including the witch's furniture, is alive and well enough to celebrate. Eva makes snide remarks about George dating Shannon, because, I mean, I know, right? Shannon can do way better.
Mm-hmm. Not even in the fucking Golden Land, she can withhold her sharp tongue. Like, shut the fuck up, Eva. Like, chill for a moment.
Yeah, and then Natsuhi does the same with Jessica and Cannon, and Natsuhi and Eva cry about it because they're weak. And then Maria shows up to greet Beato and Battler as well, and Battler's like, what the fuck, you're literally the craziest bitch in here, and it was all true, there's a real Golden Land. And Maria's like, told you so. Kinzo and Virgilia beckon Battler and Beato to the side. Kinzo tells Battler that he needs to, along with everybody else, sign a contract on this dotted line to accept entry into the Golden Land. Right as Battler is about to sign the contract, some chick literally flies through the window.
You forgot the best
part.
Stop
the wedding. Don't do anything.
You forgot the smiles, Lorenzo. The witches smile like they're about to...
Yeah.
It's always when the closed-eye characters open their eyes and you're like, oh, fuck.
I was gonna say, like, right before he signs it, the sprites of Virgilia and Beato get mega troll faces here. Oh,
Yeah.
that sounded cringy. But yeah, they do get mega troll faces. You gotta admire like the art style here because this whole time Virgilia's the eyes closed all the time character, and then she opens her eye.
Yo,
So that's cool.
It was such a hype moment. I remember when I read this for the first time, I was like, this is such a happy moment. Holy shit. And then she opens her eyes and I'm like, bro, what?
I know. And she was drawn pretty evil. So this like warm and happy, like touching moment gets turned on its head. There's like this action rescue scene going on. You don't know who this girl is. The witches don't know who she is either, and they sick their magical high school girl and other furniture onto this chick who just busts her way in. This girl with the pigtails tries to keep Battler from signing the contract. Beato kind of sort of tries to hide her true feelings with an edgelord witch monologue. She's like, do you really think I'd change, bitch baby Battler? I put up a front to reunite George and Shannon and Jessica and Cannon just to get under your skin.
Isn't this the part where she's like, yes, I took notes from those things that are so popular in anime now? And then she
so.
mentions tsundere and she's like, yes, that's what I pulled.
Yeah.
Is that here?
She literally used, I keep using literally, but she like pulled from TV tropes and like got under Battler's skin. And Beato tries to fight back against this intruder in the party, tries to go chandelier a lightning bolt onto her, but she has plot armor and is unharmed. Hold on, give me 1 second.
I'm gonna go kill my dog real quick.
Honestly. Anyways, this girl is unharmed by Beato's advances, and she's persistent in telling Battler not to sign the contract, and we still don't know who she is.
No, Butler, don't get into a 3-year plan. It's all a fucking scheme.
Yes. Don't read a visual novel called Umineko, she says. Battler confronts Beato on whether or not this selfless sacrifice at the end of episode 3 that we just saw was all an act or not, and Beato cackles and tells him that he fell for her north wind and the sun strategy as previously mentioned.
There it is.
Sorry, what was that?
I just said there it is because they never failed to mention that.
Yeah, I know, right? In typical Ryukishi styling, he'll mention it 10 times and make sure it's drilled into your head. So you guys should know it by now. I gotta say, this like last night when I was procrastinating and writing up this like summary.
Oh, so which we wrote it on the last day? Okay, Lorenzo.
I always do. And then I get like 4 hours of sleep and it's horrible for my health. But anything for Umineko, I guess.
Lorenzo grind set.
I know. I'm on the Ligma grind set.
We're just being held hostage by this game at this point.
Honestly.
What a true Sigma Ligma. That's a reference you'll get in a few weeks.
But there was this like Twitter comic voiceover I saw where it's stupid whenever you explain a visual joke, but
attempt it.
I'll go ahead and do it anyways. But it's like this guy webcomic where this guy's like, oh, my butthole, oh my god, somebody help me, oh, my butthole, it hurts so much. And then this dude comes up to like help him, and the guy who says his butthole hurts, he's actually a hitman and kills the guy who helps him.
What?
And then like fellow like mobsters, I guess, are like, wow, this trick has worked like 47 times, he's so good at it. I'm like, wow, this is exactly what happens in episode 3 because I read it before I read episode 3, and I'm like, oh wow, Beato really said, oh, my butthole Battler. Help me out, accept the golden lance to help my butthole. Anyways, you can cut that was sort of irrelevant. I was just kind of having a boss baby moment. But this girl with the pigtails, we'll call her, saves Battler from the witches, chastises him for leaving her alone to hang with the rest of the family, and also there's kind of this weird love triangle between Beato, Battler, and this girl. It's very weird.
Bro, no. That's in your head.
Okay, it's in my boss baby head, but like there's this weird like tug of war. They're like fighting over this boy, right? It's kind of weird.
Okay, yeah. I think tug of war is better.
And you don't know who like you kind of vaguely don't know who she is, so it's not that weird, but we'll get into it.
Well, you kind of vaguely know who she is if you paid attention while reading.
Yeah, no.
If you're smart.
If you have the right context clues.
You're talking to me, I'm not smart.
Oh no, a girl around the age of Butler with his hair color who breaks in the episode that Kiria mentions her child. yeah, totally not that child that Kiria mentioned.
I mean, like, from a first times reader perspective, you'd have like no idea, or at least be super confused as to like how this like high school aged girl is like involved with this story. So unless you were me and you saw the Umineko Golden Fantasia trailer on Steam and was like, oh, there she is, and her whole ass name is there. I wonder who she is. I bet she's the culprit. Anyways.
Good job, Golden.
That's me
Fantasia.
being an idiot reading Umineko, but Battler kind of figures out who she is. They don't explicitly say who she is, but Beato realizes that she is one of Burncastle's added pieces to her game board.
Yeah.
Roll credits! And at the end of the credits, it says that the winner was Eva Beatrice, and the other 17 people died, with one person left alive. On to the tea party. We see Beato, Burn, and Lambda all together. Lambda's whining that she still doesn't know who this new girl is, even though you can apparently tell who it is according to Beato and Burncastle. Lambda says that she's begging for this information, so she says that she'll reveal the identity of the one who found the gold and became the Golden Witch in exchange for knowing who she is. And she's like, I bet you guys were wondering this entire time. It was Eva. And everybody's like, wow, good job, Lambda. You're so smart.
I love that scene. That's so funny.
I can't like compare to your like shocking revelation, so I'll one up you by telling you who was the culprit in not Umineko. Who was the culprit in Higurashi no Nakukoro ni.
And one day's like, no, I haven't read it yet.
Okay, so Burn leaves, right? They like,
yeah.
Lambda's like, I know who did everything in episode 3. It was Eva. And then Burn's like, oh, good for you. And then she leaves. And then Lambda and Beato are left alone. Lambda's like, Beato, what the fuck are you doing? You're ruining the game board. I don't even think you want to win against Burn. And Beato's like, I don't know, maybe. And Lambda threatens Beato not to mess anything up, as Lambda's main intention is to trap Burn in this, I guess,
game
witch tea party metaverse.
Yeah.
End of the tea party.
About that tea party, I think it's pretty cool how Ryukishi arranged it, that in the first part of the tea party you get to see Lambda being a child and being like, oh yes, I just solved who the culprit is because of this oral joke / hint that isn't actually a hint, that has nothing to do with it. And then in the second half, that's where shit gets crazy, because
yeah, she gets creepy.
She kind of like admonishes Beato, and Beato takes it kind of jokingly, and he's like, haha, don't worry, I'm on top of my game. Then one day's like, bitch, no, you are not on top of your game, and I know it, and I'm gonna fucking mess with you if you don't get back on track. And it's really cool to just see how Lambda can get fucking scary if she wants to.
Yeah, she like changes face.
Yeah, I also love that conversation where basically they were like, well, you know, Golden Witch is kind of like, is this where they talk about Santa? Is this the place where they talk about Santa?
I think so.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and then she's like, oh, it's like Santa. And then Burn is like, yeah, you know, Santa's all fake. And then Lambda's like, what? What do you mean by Santa's fake? Wait, explain that to me. What? Like, of course Santa's real.
Love live Maki moment.
Yes.
Okay, I guess nobody here watched Love Live. Whatever.
I watched first season.
No, the one chapter of Love Life that I have witnessed is the Santa one.
Oh really? Oh my god. Well, great.
This is literally we should just call this Boss Baby episode, and it's just it's just Lorenzo but with Boss Baby, because Lorenzo's just constantly having Boss Baby moments.
Boss Baby no Naku Koroni. When the baby cries.
Baby cries, that's all the fucking time.
When the Boss Baby cries.
Oh my god. Anyways, so they're all palling about in the beginning, and then Lambda's like, Beato, what the fuck are you doing? So it's very intense, I'd say.
Yep.
And then afterwards, we get into the secret tea party. It starts 12 years later after the Rokenjima incident. Eva and the pigtailed girl, who has been revealed to be Ange, Battler's younger sister, converse at Eva's hospital bedside. Eva's bedridden because she inherited all the gold, and the stress has basically been like whittling down her will to live, like stressing her the fuck out. Her family fucking died. The only remaining family she has is her niece Ange, and she like tiger moms her the entire time up until she's like 18. They fucking hate each other. They're at each other's throats at the hospital. Angie wasn't there at Rokkenjima. Ava's like, you should have been there, man. It was crazy. And Angie's like, you bitch, you like made me have no friends.
Yeah.
But the stress of inheriting the fortune is actually killing Eva, hence the hospitalization. Eva straight up says that she wishes the worst upon Angie, so she's going the worst way she can get at her is by letting her inherit all this gold.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna get so much fucking gold. I'm gonna destroy you by just like giving you all the wealth that you can possibly imagine, and then I'm gonna fucking die.
Yeah, I know.
That's exactly what happens.
That's what she says. That's straight up what she says.
Yeah.
She's gonna figuratively crush her with all this gold. You're gonna say this?
I was gonna say that it really makes you think just how much Eva has put Ange through, because there's like just so much shit going on in this conversation. Like, first of all, she's gonna inherit this crazy and ridiculous amount of money that she knows for a fact changes a person for the worse, and she knows for a fact she's gonna be framed for killing Eva in order to inherit all of this money, and she knows the price is gonna come for her ass, and she knows all of this shit, and she isn't even worried about that. Like, you see her monologues.
Well,
and
she does it anyway. She does it spitefully. Like, she's doing it just to spite Angie.
Yeah, she just puts a target
Yeah,
on her back.
I know. But my point is just that in Angie's monologues, you don't even see her being like. Of course, she doesn't like the fact that all of this shit's gonna happen to her, but you don't even see her lament the fact that that's gonna happen to her. It just makes you think like, what have you been through to not bat an eye at this?
Right.
Oh yeah,
right.
and Angie did not give a fuck. Angie's like, whatever. I'm so happy you're gonna be dead. Like, just fuck you.
Yeah. So I think they got the tone of the conversation pretty good in the translation, because like I feel like along with the Japanese voice acting, you're hearing this conversation between, a guardian and the child, like a child and her guardian, and it should be filled with more reverence, and obviously that's not there. Angie's like, okay, I hope you like keel over and die, bitch, and then Ava's like, same to you.
Yeah, it's two people who are very used to being spiteful against each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a very uncomfortable dynamic.
It's also very interesting because Eva's voice acting is like so mad, while like Angel's voice acting is like literally like apathy. Like, there's zero shit going on in her voice. No inflection.
Yes.
Just like dead inside.
Yeah, exactly.
Very listless. It's very tropey, but badass at the same time, I must say. Angie's a cool character.
We stand Angie in this house.
Yeah.
Stan Angie.
I think Angie's voice is kind of like the voice itself. It's not that different from your general anime girl voice, like.
Mm-hmm.
But the way her voice actress delivers the lines, it's so iconic. Like, you hear an Angie line and you know that's fucking Angie speaking.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
by how emo it sounds, yeah.
That's not exactly what I meant, but yes.
She did watch that How to Be Emo video, but I digress. God, I think about it sometimes. It's been
15 years.
a lot of years since I last watched it.
I think about the always from the dark side because we have the best cookies all the time.
No. Cringe.
Fuck you. You're the one who brought it
The
up.
cringe is coming back.
Why are our formative years formed on cringe?
You're the one who brought it up. It's not my fault.
I know. I'm sorry, everybody. Let's not think about that right now.
So what else happens in that scene? Is that the ending of the scene?
Oh, yeah. So Angie's like, I don't even want the gold. Just tell me what happened on Rokkenjima. But Ava's like, I'm going to spite you by not even telling you what happens. But as the readers, and I guess the in-universe world know, Eva was the sole survivor of this Rokkenjima incident in which everybody else disappeared, and she escapes with all the gold and is immediately Japan's next top sussiest baka. Eva takes out her frustration and grief on Angie by making her life a living hell, bougie style. She makes her have no friends and makes her go to this fancy-ass academy. And Angie believes that she's inheriting Ava's golden witch hood. Angie decides to put a stop to everything and climbs to the top of the hospital's skyscraper's roof, full of regret not knowing what happened to her family and not being with them 12 years ago because she was sick that weekend, and asks herself if knowing the truth will at least bring one of her lost family members back. And before she drops off, Byrne appears before Angie and requests her assistance. In order to save her family, she's got to beat that bitch Beatrice's ass. So Byrne Castell bestows the power of Beatrice, as Angie is apparently the Beatrice of the future and the only one who can stop the Beatrice of the past. She offers her the reward of a fragment in which Angie will be reunited with her family, but because of this perfect game board set up by the Golden Witch Beatrice, which is almost as perfect as Lambda Delta's, it'll be really hard, and she can't promise that she'll ever find such a fragment with a happy ending. Active Pain, the ending theme starts.
It's a banger.
It's a banger. Go ahead and listen to it if you... I guess when you put the video up, you can like have it going on in the background, but it's a banger. Angie hops off the building before getting caught by her bodyguards, and she says, "See you again" in English.
Yeah, yes. I love that. That's their character trait.
Yes, battler moment.
Very iconic scene.
So that was a very, I don't know, a banger of an ending for episode 3. Do you guys want to have a little non-spoiler discussion before we...
I have a hot take about this scene specifically.
Yeah, go for it.
Which is that my hot take about this scene is that I don't like Active Pain.
What? Fuck you.
You were saying it was a banger. I don't like.
No, you're wrong. Are you sure? Did you re-listen to it for this episode?
Yeah, I re-listened to it when I fucking read the scene, and I'm like, this would have been better with any other song. I don't like Active Pain that much. Sorry.
I mean, it's not bad.
I'm here for this discourse.
But like compared to other songs, there are better ones, I'd say. But it's a good mood setter.
I guess.
Yeah? Okay, fine. Fine, Des. Whatever.
That doesn't sound convinced.
I like Active Pain. I think Active Pain is good because it gives me a very, it has a very sad angst anime feel. I find that makes any sense. I feel like it's fitting for Ange. Yeah, exactly. It's fitting for Ange.
Yeah.
It might not be, as a banger as, Birth of a New Witch or, the ending for EP4. But, I still think Active Pain is perfect for Angie. That's what I think.
Exactly. A mood setter. Because, you just meet this girl. You, saw how she talked to her remaining family. And now she's, gonna jump off this building because she can't take it anymore. But just before that, she's, going to, as you know from, a minute before, that she's going to insert herself into Umineko to figure out what's going on. And you're like, whoa, what the...
Yeah.
But she's a witch now. She's the new Beatrice, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Angie Beato.
Another thing I want to talk about that's spoiler free is that I want to get everybody's opinion on what was your reaction when you first read EP3 and you learned that everything was a lie and Beatrice was playing with you all along.
Mm-hmm.
It got me.
I mean, I think I've told this story already about how I just went to school the next day and talked about it to my friend who was not reading Umineko and was just like, man, fucking bitch lied to me, bro.
No, I get it. I knew that there were 8 episodes ahead of this. So I was like, it's too good to be true. But at the same time, my feelings are hurt that she didn't seem to change for the better. But she kind of did. Because there was that, if you play the game, you see that there's a little sprite animation where Beato's just kind of trying to hold in her feelings before she goes on to say, "Oh, I tricked you, you little bitch boss baby."
What? I didn't.
Yes, that's if you go watch the not only PS3 or even the original sprite, you see her face turn 3 times before she her face turns into the very cackling noises face.
Oh,
yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think since I don't really remember what I think what I felt when I first read it, so I would just bring up how my friend Dubs felt when he was reading it. So he was pretty suspicious about Beatrice half of the time, but then I think in the end he truly starts buying it. So when the twist finally happened, he was more just not annoyed, but he's just oh, I should fucking saw that coming. Oh my fucking god, what the fuck? That's really, really, ugh. It's he's just, pissed because he was I should have built my guard up. But I think, the whole point of EP3 is that, you're supposed to, even if you had your guard up, that many hours of reading, beats you down. So, you're I'm ready to accept it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to go through EP3 is to eventually give in to the witch, just like Butler did.
Yeah, exactly. Because he straight up says, "You're Golden Witch. You use magic. I am totally ready to accept this invitation to the Golden Lands." And at the same time, as a dumb reader, I'm like, "Oh, I still have no idea what this means."
When I was first reading it, the biggest confusion in my head was, okay, so you were about to achieve your goal, Beato. What? Why? Why did you stop Butler from signing the contract? But if you are reading this for the first time, I assure you, there's a good reason for everything in Umineko. So don't feel bad about this. It's not a plot hole.
And then on top of that, this Angie chick just like drops in, says, "Stop the wedding. Don't do anything." And you're like, what?
Yeah, that's also very true. The scene is set up kind of like a wedding. Like you like totally get wedding vibes as they're gonna start like exchanging vows and shit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so are you telling that all the signatures in the book is everyone's consent? So everyone in this fucking mansion had to consent to this?
I am marrying my family, yes. That's exactly what happens.
But no. I mean, like, not everybody signing part, but just, like, the part where Battler has to sign it with Beatrice. Like, the way how they, like, say those lines and, like, it comes off very wedding vibes.
Yeah. Do you accept me as your one and only witch?
Yeah.
And Battler's like, yeah, I think I do. And Angie's like,
No,
I'm marry me instead. Just kidding.
Lorenzo,
Yeah.
I don't know why you're kind of keep pushing this whole Angie Battler storyline, but like you know, you need a vibe check.
Because my favorite episode is episode 9.
Oh my god, shut the fuck up! You need to get vibe check.
Now, out of context,
Lorenzo, please stop this shit at once.
it's not me. It's whoever wrote Umineko.
It's not my family. Anyway.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we want to talk about that's like spoiler free?
Shit, I did had something to say, but thank you, Renzo, with your stupid jokes. Made me forget about what I was gonna say.
Good.
Oh, I was gonna say that this is just like that meme where two people are getting married and then it's like, I consent, then Jesus comes down. Isn't there anyone you forgot to ask?
Oh my god, yes.
Jesus is just Angie.
Part of me feels like that meme already exists for Umineko because I definitely have seen like Battler and Beatrice getting married and Beatrice has a cackling face and on the side there's like Angie crying and it just says, did you forget to ask me? I definitely think I've seen that. But if there isn't, somebody should make it.
Yeah. Wait, did Umineko come first or did Shrek 1 come first?
Oh my god, I'm pretty sure.
Who's ripping off?
Did Shrek 1 come first?
I feel like Umineko came first. Shrek is...
Shrek came out in 2000.
Shrek came out 2001. Just kidding. Everything. Shrek is the birth of everything.
Yeah.
Exactly. Birth of a new Shrek.
It was that generation's Boss Baby.
You're
Everyone saw everything in Shrek before Boss Baby came.
right.
Okay, so is that all the spoiler discussion we have? Spoiler free, I mean.
Oh yeah. Oh wait. I haven't. My second spoiler for you discussion.
Yeah.
Is that how shocked were you when you got to the end of Secret Tea Party where you learned that there is a 1998 future?
I don't even remember, to be honest.
I don't even.
Is that the first instance of like you see the future?
Yes.
Yes.
That was gonna be one of my questions.
Just like what's going on?
Yeah, like if that was like the first instance you see of like a future being portrayed, like to the audience.
Yeah. I think.
Wow.
Okay. I actually have very vivid memory of me getting there. Is that I remember when I finally got there and you learned 1998 future. I was fucking furious because I was like, right now in the end of EP3, I think my personal idea of what the story was going to be about was going to be like, oh, something trapped in time loop, but if we like get out of this time loop, everybody can go home.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly the story jumps to like 12 years in the future, 1998. Actually, everybody died. Look, this is Eva. Like, Eva's the only one who survived. Also, this is Ange. She's really fucking pissed because she has no family. And I was like, what the fuck? I was so mad and so upset. And I was like, this is pain. Active pain is me.
I mean, it's active pain, yeah.
Active pain. Do you think you would have stopped reading it then if the 4th episode wasn't out yet?
No. I think I'm just like, it wasn't like as much pain that I was like, thought it was bullshit and I would stop reading it. I was just like, what the fuck, I completely misread the story. I have no idea where this is going now. Like, you know what
Oh
I mean?
no, totally. Same. I mean, I was misreading it at that point. Like as I was actively reading the Secret Tea Party, I was like, "This makes no sense to me." I guess I'll hold on to the hope that there is a happy ending where everybody lives together, because that's what Berncastel said. But
Yeah, because like I think like at that point that scene really plays on your assumption of the game. Like depends on how you think the story is going to be about. Like knowing what happens in 1998, it feels so shitty and like feels so concrete.
right.
But that's how I feel. So you don't remember what you felt. You just were like, I'm ready to keep going now.
Okay. I think because the way I was reading this shit at the time was that I was reading it with someone who was in EP5. And so sometimes we would just, both of us would just open our laptops and read Umineko at the different parts of the story we were at. And then whenever I finished an episode, they would say like, okay, now read the tea party. And indeed, this would be at like midnight, and I would read the tea party. And then I finished the tea party, and I was like, okay, I think I'm done. And they would be like, no, now read the secret tea party. Then I would read the secret tea party. And then when I actually finished the episode, it would be like 2 a.m. and my brain wouldn't be in the correct mental place to be in to memorize what I was reading and what I was feeling. So I was just read it and then go to bed and think like, what the fuck did I just read? Then I would wake up the next morning and not remember half of it.
I'm glad that behind every successful Umineko reader is a extremely pestering friend. That's like literally true. Like I don't think anybody has read Umineko out of their own volition at this point. Like everybody knew somebody who fucking read Umineko, and that's the only reason that people kept reading it.
It's a testament to how good it is.
Yeah, they kept whipping me. Read more, read more.
Yeah. It takes the grassroots approach into becoming one of the best novels ever written. Not really, but it's good.
I totally want to hear if anybody else have like the feeling of just like completely confusion and a betrayal and just. Yeah, tell me if you felt that.
I was but only because I went through the anime version first, and that just sped run through the entire ending of EP3. So it's like after that, I immediately just had to transition to EP4, so I didn't really have time to stop and like think about it.
I see. Well, might I interest you in some spoilers?
Yes. So if you haven't read through the end of Umineko, thank you so much for listening. We will now be discussing spoilers, so please don't listen to them unless you're a weirdo and like listening to spoilers before finishing the story.
No, even if you are, log the fuck out, or I'm gonna dox you and I'm gonna come to your house and I'm gonna whip you to read the rest of Umineko.
Please, please let's log off. In the meantime, see cats, do crimes, and we'll see you later. Or not. You'll listen to us later. You guys ready to talk about your thoughts and feelings with the context of the entirety of the story in mind?
Yes.
Yep.
That's a lot.
I do have a big thing to tackle, which is something we have already spoken about like 2 episodes ago, but since now we are discussing the actual finale, I feel like I should bring it up again, which is the reason why the episodes keep going and why Beato cancels Butler signing the contract, even though that was her fucking goal.
Mm-hmm.
So as we know, Beato essentially did that because...
Des, do you want, before you get into that story, do you want to give a context of how we were talking about with Doves, the whole thing about that first?
I don't recall what we were talking about with Doves about that mushroom.
I will give you a preface before Des goes on and talk about this story.
Okay.
I think we have mentioned this multiple times, but during the episode we did with Dubs was reading Umineko EP3 at that time. And then Dubs said, wow, like Beatrice is like super nice. I wonder if she really really turned a new leaf. Like I actually enjoy reading her right now. And then Des think he's so like excitingly sneaky was like and then messaged me and was like, haha, look at him. Dubs doesn't know.
He doesn't know he's gonna get betrayed.
Yeah, he's gonna get betrayed. And she was lying this whole time. And the only reply I gave Des was, did she though? Like,
is she?
And then
is she lying?
Is she lying? And then Des' mind exploded.
Yeah, it did. I had to contain, like, do you know how when you hear or realize something mind blowing, you go like, like I'm not sure if that actually went on recording, but I remember being like, shit, I cannot make any sound, because it was just that mind blowing. Because I was like, fuck, of course, like she isn't lying. That's so okay. To actually explain this, so what I realized by then is that even though Beato is quote unquote pretending to be turning a new leaf and being more mellow and less aggressive and less Beato, even though she's quote unquote pretending to be that, to be becoming that, she actually isn't, because that is just the Beato persona dissolving and the actual way that Sayo feels coming up. So EP3 is kind of the episode where we see the most of Sayo in all of Umineko. And so my realization with that was that, holy shit, Beato was not lying. This was Sayo. Like, this was how Sayo actually felt. And now, coming back to the finale of the episode, so Sayo did not want Butler to sign the contract because Butler didn't solve shit. Like, Sayo planned all of this Umineko for Butler to understand Sayo's feelings, but he didn't solve the mystery. He didn't understand Sayo's feelings. He just accepted that witches exist, and then she was like, Butler. She has been being aggressive to Butler because she knows that that's just how Butler is. If you fight against Butler, he's gonna fight back, and she wants that because she wants to keep Butler thinking about what's going on so that she may understand her. But then Butler just starts believing magic exists, and she's like, man, no, are you fucking dumb? So of course she has to interrupt Butler before she admits witches exist, so that they can continue arguing about the game board, so that Butler reaches the understanding that this mystery is literally impossible unless Shannon and Canon are the same person.
Exactly.
So that's her goal.
And
what? Sorry, Lorenzo, you want to say something?
Oh, I was gonna say, when Lambda's like, I think you're missing the point of what our end goal is as the opposition to Burn Kestel is, because
yeah, because the thing is, Beato is being sponsored by Lambda, and aka she's getting Lambda's certainty. And what we learn in Confession of the Golden Witch is that certainty is the certainty that Sayo will be satisfied with whatever ending may come. If one of the three understands who she is on the game board and accepts them, then yes, of course Sayo's gonna be satisfied with that. But it's also certainty that Sayo will also feel satisfied if one of the adults just fucking finds the gold and she stops being the Golden Witch and everything she has planned fails.
Oh,
so
damn.
The certainty is that she will not feel disappointed, whatever may happen, right?
I thought the certainty was that the island blew up.
That's what I
and
mean.
everyone dies.
I disagree with you on that. I instead of thinking at it in a mystical way, the certainty she grants is that the island blows up. That's literally
all traces of evidence just disappear. That's like pretty certain.
Okay, that's an interesting way to look at it. So it's essentially certainty that there will be no evidence.
Yes.
And the witch will exist. Okay.
How my interpretation of Confession of the Golden Witch is that all Sayo could do is write her letter, like her message bottles over and over again, but doesn't mean that she can actually do anything about it. And then suddenly she realized she could just bomb the whole island and have nothing left, and that's when she actually ascends into witchdom, because she can become because there will be no evidence of anything and she would be able to just do anything.
That's interesting.
So I guess now that's a very literal way of seeing it's a really literal reading for the witches now at this point. So in my mind, Lambda's the bomb, which is the certainty. She's if you can set the bomb, if you can explode it, then you would certainly become a witch. But if you don't, then you're just a human culprit. I feel like that's how I see it.
Yeah, if you deign yourself to die with the mystery and the solution of the mystery, you've transcended humanity and have become a witch that people will talk about for all time, or whatever corny way you want to word it.
Yeah. But the island still blows up.
Yeah.
So tying it all back together.
Or Beato becomes a witch because she dies with her secret.
No, because Beato stops being a witch in this episode because Eva Beato becomes the witch.
There is also on the topic of her like resigning her witchhood. Battler says, "You're the true golden witch. You use magic," and then he cuts Beato off when she says, "I didn't use magic. All I did was say red truth." Oh, but she gets cut off. She's like, "I just said what happened," and Battler's like, "No, I believe in magic. I believe in you as a witch. I see you as a witch."
Yeah. So what I was gonna tie it all back into is that so I had an explanation for the mythical explanation, I guess. But I also have an explanation for what Mushroom brought up, that the certainty could also be interpreted as the fact that the island's going to blow up and all the evidence is going to wash away. So the mythical explanation is that Sayo stopped being the Golden Witch in this episode because Eva Beato became the Golden Witch.
Right.
So if Sayo no longer is the Golden Witch, then she can break the certainty if she wants to, because she is no longer being sponsored. She is no longer the witch that is being sponsored by certainty.
Right.
So that would make sense why she can keep Butler from signing the contract and still keep going with the episodes, because Wanda cannot cancel her sponsorship for that because Beato was not the Golden Witch by then. Maybe she would become the Golden Witch if Butler signed the contract, but because he didn't, Wanda cannot cancel the sponsorship. And
well, I mean, we don't even have to think of it as a sponsorship point of view, because like if you see the scene about like how does Eva Beatrice become ordained as Beatrice, is Lambda was the one who shows up and sponsors her. So like that still ties in the whole idea of like Lambda's a bomb and Lambda guarantees the guarantee of anybody becoming a witch if somebody could just blow up in the island, who has the power to blow up the island in the end.
I know that's what I was gonna explain now.
Sorry.
That even going with the bomb explanation, the certainty is still not broken, because even if Wanda is metaphoric with the bomb, Eva didn't say anything, so the certainty is still kept. The certainty that there is no evidence or clues to anything else other than it was a witch who did it. So the certainty is still not broken, and the sponsorship is still intact.
Yeah, boy. It's very good.
Umineko metaphors, am I right?
Interpretations.
Yeah, Ambi, to answer your question, like how concrete that is, we don't know. Like, I mean, this is just like, I think like I heard the whole like Lambda's a bomb thing actually like as a more of a joke argument. Like, but then when I thought more hard about it, I was like, oh wait, I actually truly do agree with it. What the fuck?
I mean, I'm more confused about the idea of like, what does sponsorship mean at this point in the story?
Sponsorship is just a metaphor.
Yeah, exactly. Like sponsorships are all metaphors. Like,
I'll give you an example.
Okay.
So if you work hard enough for a test and you pass it, then you worked so hard that you essentially achieved the certainty that you were gonna pass the test. So essentially you were sponsored by Lambda. Like, the sponsorship is just a retroactively way to say that you got sponsored. Like, the sponsorship doesn't exist. It's just like saying, oh, I worked so hard that I certainly will pass the test, and then once you do, you're like, oh yes, Lambda Delta was on my side.
Yeah, like the end justifies the means. I also got to say, it's very ironic that you say that studying hard made you pass a test when you think about if Lambda is actually Satoko, but whatever.
Please stop. Why do you keep talking about Sotsu? Go to Sotsu Log if you really want to talk about Sotsu. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Lorenzo.
No, I hate when they cry. But yeah, so which of certainty means that you work hard, and that's the end that or the means that justifies that end. And then on the converse side, the witch of miracle, the miracle side is like, oh, this is all happenstance. This is a coincidence. I just waited for this ending to fall into my hands.
Mm-hmm.
And in another interpretation, it's like, I'm gonna accept whatever happens.
Okay, I could see it.
Wait. No, that's the certainty of Sayo. What are you talking about?
Oh, Sayo's. Oh, okay.
No. I think like what Lorenzo's trying to say is that like the difference between certainty and miracle is that like certainty is about like basically willing a one outcome out in the end. I mean, like that's what I mean. That's actually what I think the whole argument between Beatrice and Lambda in the end is interesting, because Lambda thinks what Beatrice's goal is to basically play this game forever. Like, as in, like, she thinks that, like, what like Beatrice want to do is to trap Battler. It's just to like torture him for eternity.
Yes.
But that's not what Beatrice's goal is. Beatrice's goal is actually for him to understand her.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that's really interesting because I'm going to bring up something that Dub was telling me while he was reading EP4. To see somebody is to love somebody, and to love somebody is to mean by acceptance. And then he went on to say, he's like, I actually don't think Beatrice would have wanted to be accepted without being understood.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, as in, like, because while he was reading EP4, he reads through a lot of, like, I mean, the whole conversation between Maria and Rosa, Maria and Ange, and she's like, oh, like, is unconditional love truly, like, true acceptance? Like, are you just, like, loving them no matter what? Like, is that really a good thing? It's basically, well, that's because, like, in like Maria loves Rosa unconditionally no matter like what kind of horrible thing is thrown her way, and then like is that truly like accepting her mother even though she like basically pretends that every time her mother like goes like, I don't know, sicko mode, like she's just a different person. So
yeah,
I just think that's very
that's a nice interpretation of witchhood in the context of relationships.
But yeah, I actually don't really understand witches of miracles. I think like the concept that I imagine is just like witches of certainty is like you work really hard so you can get this thing like always, like you can always certainly like hit the goal. A miracle is that you just like wait around, and if you have determination enough to basically sit around forever, you will be able to get like a fragment that you got it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think both are kind of confusing because both involve a lot of determination.
That's very true. Both. Yeah. Exactly. Both involves a lot of interpretation. Determination. Yeah. So that's what were you gonna say? What's your interpretation on what?
No. That both of those interpretations are within my interpretations, but I think there's more examples of certainty and miracles. Because another example of certainty is not just working very hard; it's also the one we just described of Sayo. Like if you make a compromise about something that there's your certainty, you compromise to this thing.
I don't agree with that though. I don't believe like as in like certainty means that you will feel okay with anything that's gonna happen in that scenario.
Yeah, you can't change the goalpost, or was it the goalpost with certainty?
Like I just think like certainty guarantees just means the end goal is always the same. Like the end is always the same. Like the island will blow up. Like I don't think like Sayo feels satisfied with like all the shit that happens in the middle. She just knows like she's like all of this is fine because the end will justify the means, which is the end, which is the island will blow up. Like
okay, then let me explain it in another way.
Okay.
Because when I say that Sayo will be satisfied, maybe I shouldn't use this expression because that implies that Sayo feels satisfied. Now that I think about it, this is kind of dumb.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I don't agree with that. Like exactly. Like I don't think she's satisfied. She just knows it's gonna happen.
Yeah, so what I should instead be saying is that Sayo will not interfere even if things don't go according to her plan. Like, if none of the three...
Because her plan is for the island to blow up.
And for the witch to exist.
The middle part, it doesn't matter. Like, that's what I personally think what certainty is about.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
So even if she feels kind of like she should go back and not make the island blow up, she has compromised this, and she's like, I will not interfere. That's where the certainty comes from.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like, that's also why I brought up the point in our, I think, last episode, where I was like, did Sayo/Canon thought about saving Jessica? No. Like, even in the last moment, with, like, Sayo's power, Sayo could probably had helped Jessica, but Sayo's thought was, nope, this island's gonna blow up. I'm not gonna save anybody. Like, this is it. Like,
yeah, I like how Beato/Sayo paves their own way into becoming a different sort of witch, because right now you think that there's two sides: the witch of certainty working hard to get your one true ending versus witch of miracles accepting whatever gets thrown at you. And Beato's like,
wait, what?
I'm gonna be kind of an in-between, not resigning to Lambda, not resigning to Burn, becoming my own witch.
Like, Des, what the fuck do you think miracle is about? Tell me what your interpretation is so we can argue about it. Because I think clearly, like, I think we all have varied interpretations about what we think miracle and certainty is. So tell me, what's yours?
Okay, so that's not what I was disagreeing about, not your interpretation of miracle, because I agree with it. What I was disagreeing about is the dynamic between the witches. Because to me, miracles is just, oh, if you look through the sea of possibilities, maybe you'll find a possibility that suits your taste. So, like, that's what miracles are, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what I was disagreeing about is the dynamics between the witches, because
We already explained it in the very first episode. There's a rock, paper, scissors.
no. That's not what I meant. I mean the sides that they are taking, that Lorenzo was describing, because in my reading, it's nothing like that. It's literally just Lambda versus everyone, because Lambda wants a perpetual tie so that she can keep Bern trapped in this game and trying to solve it perpetually. So she handpicked Beato's game because she thought, this is a pretty unsolvable game. Let's bring Bern in and entertain ourselves because boredom kills witches. And Beato, on the surface, is also rooting for a perpetual tie, but deep down, she's actually rooting for the detective side. And Butler is also rooting for the detective side. And Bern, who is sponsoring Butler, is also rooting for the detective side. And Angie, who is brought in, is also rooting for the detective side. So everyone is against Lambda in this.
Actually, wait. Just on a really random note, I actually don't know what I think this is true or not, because I don't actually think Bern ever actually sponsors Battler. So part of my headcanon is that the only people that Bern actually sponsors is Ange, Erica, and the readers.
Ah, okay. I guess I can agree with that. She's just helping Butler, not exactly sponsoring him.
Yeah, that makes sense because, as a reader, like listening to or reading what the author's putting out, like you just have to work with whatever you read up until the end of the story, right? So that's kind of in line with the reader being on the certainty side of things, because not certainty, miracle side of things, because that's what happens. You can't really do much about that.
But I have a question about your take, Mushroom. Not your take, your interpretation. Like, I understand Bern sponsoring Erika, but I wanted you to explain why you think Bern sponsored Angie and the audience.
Because I think there's a very common interpretation that thinks like Bern sponsors Battler, but I don't think that's true. I think there's no point in Question Arc of Umineko you ever learn that Bern is sponsoring Battler, because like they use the word Miko and they use the word sponsor. And Bern never says that Battler is like her Miko, like as in like Bern just says that she was gonna help Battler, but that doesn't even actually comes up, because every single time she's talking to somebody that she's gonna be helping, you actually don't see who the person is. Like I think like we basically know that it is Battler from like context clues. We see it in the end of EP2 where she talks to this person and she's like, don't tell Beatrice I'm helping you, but I'm gonna help you, give you some hints and nipa, like, you know what I mean? And you, from context clue, you know that's Battler. But like I also don't like, I think like she never like outrightly, she just says like I support the detective side.
Yes.
Whoever's on the detective side, I would support. And I think like that's why she brings it, like, but she does actually like Angie's literally her piece. Like that, does that even mean that she sponsors her? Like what does sponsor mean at this point? Like you sponsor somebody to become a witch, so like that's why Lambda is Battler's sponsor, because she sponsors Battler to become a witch.
Oh, in EP5?
Yeah, in EP5.
Okay.
So that's why I think like that's a little bit confusing, because I think the concepts of sponsoring and being somebody's Miko is slightly different.
Okay.
Well, the point I'm trying to make is that like I think like Bern is like never on Battler's side. She's just on whatever side Beatrice is not on.
Yeah.
That's my personal take on that.
Yeah, because Beato is the mystery.
And she also never helps Battler. She like literally never helped Battler.
Nah, she does. She brings Angie in.
Yeah, do you think bring Angie is like a helping?
Not at all.
No, that's all exactly.
Yeah. At the end of was it episode 8? Because like episode 8 is like Angie finally accepting the truth, kind of, and like they have to work really hard to get to that point. It's a whole episode, you know.
Okay, then.
But like, okay, I don't have to argue with you about shit you haven't remember reading yet. But like, we could talk about how much is Angie actually a helping hand. Because I am on the side that like Bern only added Angie in here just to fuck with Battler. Like,
yes, exactly.
What?
Yes.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
I'll have to wait for EP4 then.
She's not allowed to say that she's his sister the entire time, even though it like kills her inside. And when she does, she quote unquote dies.
Immediately disintegrates.
Yeah.
Yeah, she immediately disintegrates. And like even in the like we're now just talking about EP4 shit. This it's okay. You don't have to feel bad. Like I read EP4 4 times now at this point. Like I know we're only on the EP3 ending, but I have read it 4 times.
Yeah. No, I was just I'm looking forward for that part in EP4 so that we can discuss it.
Just keep that in mind when I say like Ange is not here to help. This is just a sadistic way for like Burn to fuck with Battler and to fuck with Beatrice's game. You could see Battler and Beatrice coming to a certain kind of understanding at the end of EP3. While Battler might not be close to solving the mystery of Beatrice logically, he is close to solving Beatrice's puzzle emotionally. He's ready to be emotionally vulnerable to Beatrice. I think that's what EP3 is all about. Is about like them opening up, Battler respecting her more as a person, understanding her point of view, blah 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 blah. And of course, while Beatrice like pulls the whole like actually like I was like tricking you all along, it just means that there is something to be tricked for. Like as in like it just means that like Battler does have the capacity to like how do I say like connect with her. If Angie didn't show up, they might have had the capacity to keep going and Battler to be able to understand Beatrice. But that's my personal take on it.
You think so? Because I'm thinking that if putting myself in Baron's shoes, you just saw Butler almost solve it and then Beato pushing it back.
Well, I am not gonna.
No,
I'm
Mushroom.
not...
There's a discussion to be had here with only EP3 knowledge. Like I don't need to know EP4 details to have this discussion. Like, because Baron sent her piece in right at the moment that Butler was about to give in to the witch. So Baron is looking for this piece because she saw Butler and she saw that Butler was unable to solve the mystery through the mystery side of it, and because Baron clearly doesn't want the mystery to be solved through the emotional side. So she brought literally a person who is very keen on not accepting Beato and on actually solving what happened, because that's the role that Ange is going to be playing, is the character who will not accept Beato and will think about things logically and has knowledge of the future. She's like a perfect piece to bring in.
Yes, I agree with that. I totally agree.
Okay, then we'll keep continue this discussion later.
Yes, I totally agree with that. Like, as in, Burn does not want it to be solved emotionally. Like, that's why she brings Ange in. But when I say that, is that, like, is truly Ange a useful piece, is what I'm trying to argue.
I know she's not, and I know that's why Bern got super mad and created her own OC and sent her in.
Damn, Burn.
But like also, since we brought up her own OC, did you realize that like Erica is literally just like a hybrid between Burn Castell and Young Ange?
Yes.
What?
Like, look at her hairstyle. Like, think about her hairstyle.
She just has bangs like half the cast.
No. Like, her hairstyle is literally Ange's hairstyle when she's young, but like just longer.
Mushroom, I think this is just the anime syndrome of similar hairstyles.
No, Eric. Okay, like Des, I am not joking. Like, I'm like you think that like I am just like fucking with you, like just bringing up as a random, like I don't necessarily believe that's an anime syndrome. Like, we already did that. Like, it's like, look at her, like her design.
You're right. I'm looking at it right now. It's kind of obvious now that you pointed out.
I know that if you remove...
Google it right now and then tell me if you don't think that like
Mushroom,
that is designed with that in mind.
Do you not think I have the image of Furude Erika herself memorized into my mind?
Well, no.
Mushroom, I know what you're talking about. I just think that, yes, if you remove the twin tails and the longer hair parts at the front, it does kind of look like young Angie, but I also think like, I don't believe that's intentional.
I personally think it's really intentional because Erica is literally just like, I don't know if you've seen those memes, but like Erica is literally just Ange if she went down a certain path. Like, that's why the whole like trick ending exists.
Yeah, yes. I was gonna say they have their moments.
Yeah, I know. They're literally they are the two witches of truth who are destined to destroy themselves. I know.
That is literally like how you were supposed, like, I don't know. I feel like the design is very intentional to basically be like, oh, this is what it would be like look at you, your tiny baby self grow up to be a complete fucking monster, bitch. Which is even more monstrous than, like, I guess, like, adult Ange is.
And Erica even gets a hand-me-down from Jessica. That's kind of like, that would make sense if, Angie got Jessica's hand-me-downs too, if you want to, like, start looking into things deeper than they should.
Fuck. I'm starting to subscribe to this.
Okay, I'm not even joking. Like, I'm like, her literal sleeve, like, her little dress is like a combination of Angel's sleeves and then like
fuck
and
off,
then-
mushroom. Bern also has those sleeves. Beato
No,
also
but
has
like,
those sleeves.
like I like
It's
no,
all
no, no,
coming
no.
together.
But like her like I'm just
They got the
those,
bow. They all have bows on their front,
Bro, that's just Umineko design. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
they're all wearing
Anyway,
dresses.
I'm just saying that's just me throwing my fucking
They all have.
thing in.
They're all from Umineko.
They're all women.
Yeah, they're all women in STEM.
But I do think that's an interesting idea. I half subscribe to it.
Well, fuck you. That's I'm putting that out there. I'm putting that out there. If people want to make fun of me in the comment section, they can.
Well, now they will, that you gave them permission.
But if somebody agrees with me, I will fucking.
I was gonna say, like, I'm glad I recently took one of those 16 personality tests in front of my friends, and they were like,
you mean like the INTJ thing? Like,
yeah. So I fucking got
Myers-Briggs.
debater, and like
Debater.
it was like, you're most like these characters, and then the Joker popped up, and now I'm like, we're all the Joker. Like, I'm glad all of you are also debaters, and we're all Jokers here.
It's like we are. I'm the Joker,
Yeah,
baby.
baby. We're all Erica Furude's up in here. ENT.
Oh my
It's
God.
EN F
YMCA, yes.
FJ.
YMCA.
ENFJ.
Wait. Oh, you're a judgment. You're a judgment.
Yes, we are. We're all judgmental.
I'm ENFP.
Oh,
so
just kidding.
I'm-
You're perceptive, I think.
Yeah, I'm perceptive.
I think I'm INFP.
And then there's like an A at the end for debater, at least. So
You should take your Myers-Briggs test, so we
Yeah.
can talk
I have
about.
taken it.
What's yours?
I am Giorno Giovanna, but everybody calls me Giorgio.
I will literally kill you. Yes.
wow,
Okay,
Danganronpa.
so
What?
That sounded like what you were singing.
It's a Daft Punk song.
Yeah, no,
It
I
sounds
know.
a bit like Danganronpa.
That just yep. Anyways, I wanted to talk about Eva and Angie's relationship. It's a very, I mean, to me, on a second read through, it sounds very love-hate, like
Does it?
it sounds spiteful from what they say, and obviously that's what they say. But like, maybe if you read deeper into it, like Eva was being overprotective of Angie. Like Angie's like, oh man, you're being a total bitch to me. You wanted to, like, ruin my life, take it out because your parents killed everyone. But at the same time, like, maybe there's some maternal, like, she babied George. She made him a mama's boy. Maybe she was like doing her own twisted version of that on Angie when she was raising her. On top of all that, she's going to give her the gold, even though she's like, I'm going to give you the worst punishment I'd wish upon my worst enemy, by letting you inherit this, like, massive wealth.
I mean, there's an odd respect in making someone your worst enemy.
Yeah, exactly.
In my opinion.
Yeah, and then you see episode 8 or whatever, and then Ava's like doting on young Angie. So it's like, maybe this is how you should have been interpreting your relationship, because in the end, in true when they cry fashion, there's a huge communication issue that causes everybody's problems.
Yeah, because in that scene, it's like Ava's like not saying like, oh, what could I have done better, or like, what could I have done differently?
Exactly. And then Angie's like, I know she's like 6 years old and like is totally lost, but she could have also accepted Ava as her guardian and whatever. And
yeah, which is Tanabata. That fucking manga panel still haunts my nightmares.
which is that?
Which is Tanabata, which is the one where it's in Tsubasa or it's in the manga where you basically read young Ange, and then young Ange is like 6 years old, and she's like basically trying to get along with like Eva after like the whole tragedy happens, and then Eva shows her like kindness, and then like they started to slightly bond with each other, and then suddenly like she basically wishes for Tanabata, that she's like, oh, I wish I could see my family again, like my brother, my mom, and my dad. And then suddenly Burn Cassell shows in front of her, and she was like, well, if you ever want to see your family ever again, then you have to reject the evil witch Eva. You just have to reject her at any turn. Every time you like weaken your resolve, then like your family is just like further and further away from you. And then Angel basically decides that she's like, I'm going to like make this woman's life like basically reject her, like basically like make this woman's life a living hell. And I think about that manga panel all the time, because of course, like from a very like, I don't know, real world and non-meta world, like from a meta world perspective, like burn doesn't exist, like as in like. And also, if we were trying to say the most uncharitable idea, which is that like probably there wasn't anybody who came up to Angel and said you should be mean to Eva, but it was just like a decision that because Angel was so young and she doesn't really understand, and she's only like 6 years old, she somehow in the middle of her way decided that like being happy and being accepted by Eva means betraying her own family and her own like dead family, and she decided to reject her every way, but also rejected her own happiness.
Yeah.
And that just like makes me fucking cry all the time I think about it. I was like, ugh, it sucks, because like, they're literally the only two people left in the world that can possibly understand each other, and they have literally pushed each other away at every single turn.
Yes.
I was gonna say, when Lorenzo was talking about how he was talking about the conversation they have in the hospital, and I went into this conversation with the same idea as you, to be like, oh, maybe this is just they hate each other on the surface, but Eva is kind of being a good aunt to Angie by giving her all the money and shit. Like, I went into the conversation expecting to come out of it with the golden truth, but in the end I was just like, no, this no way.
No, this is like their bad ending, I guess. They've got the bad ending where they fail to communicate these like some 12 odd years later, and now they're at each other's throats on her deathbed. But there's like the whole, as much as they hate each other, Eva had probably had enough money to like completely push her. Well, I guess that's what she did. She did completely push her away with all that money.
No. I mean, that's what I think is interesting about this whole thing, is that like, I don't think Eva went into this whole scenario thinking she was going to basically like, I think she truly wanted Angel to be happy, and she did make a bunch of decisions basically to help Angel because she thinks it will be like, would have been good. I think it was mentioned in the memories, like where she gets really mad about the whole boarding school situation, or even like making so much money, or blah blah blah. I imagine like part of Eva probably felt like, well, if you hate me so much, I'm gonna send you away. Like, you don't have to see me. Like you'll go to a boarding school, so at least like you wouldn't have a bunch of commoners like basically
right
to be berating on you, like baby, like, or blah blah blah. I feel like there's a lot of things that Eva did in the very beginning that was good, that turn out to be bad anyway.
She was grooming her to be the real successor. She's like, okay, you'll be my replacement, George, even though it's kind of like a weird, iffy, your parents killed everybody, but...
Well, I actually don't even... I actually don't even think that's true. Like, I think, like...
Okay.
No. Like, as in the replacement George thing, like, I feel like at that point, like, I think, like, in Witches Hanabata, and in, like, later, if you read EPA manga, or EPA in general, you would realize, like, I don't think Eva wanted to be, like, replacement George. I feel like both of them had a lot of guilt. It was more like the type of shit where she's just, like, I really just want you to, like, want this shit to work out. But I feel like both of them just went really wrong. Like, I think, like, when you get to see them in 1998, that's the end of their line. Like, there's zero love between them. There's all hate. I don't think they're like, their soul has completely dried up. And like, Eva's already deranged at the moment. She like didn't even give a shit. She was just like, I want you to fucking die. Like, I'm gonna cut that part out, but that's what she says in the fucking. That's literally what she says in the dialogue. Like, she says that to Angel, and Angel was like, wow, like, thanks so much, like, cool, I'm gonna look forward to that. And like, I truly think like there's zero love, but like, it did start somewhere. Like, all big trees grow from a small seed, so
yeah, which just makes it more impactful when Angie finally builds her golden truth at the end of Umineko.
Exactly.
For sure.
Yeah, And it's just sad because while you're reading the whole thing, you can totally imagine a better future. Like what could have been the better future for them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why reading EP8 sucks. Like you're just like, wow, I'm just crying the whole time. Bitch, it's like bitches be crying. I am in the bitch. But yeah.
Okay, I have some things to discuss about the previous episode though, but I'll bring them up after we exhaust this episode.
Well, I'm done, I think.
I don't know what I want to talk about, so you can go for it now.
Okay, so I have some things I want to bring up about the previous episode that I either have thought by myself or have been led to think about by the comments. So yeah, your comments help, guys. Please comment. I thought that maybe the reason Kanon didn't want Jessica to touch him might have also been because Kanon maybe was still dressed as Shannon, and they were like, "Don't touch me."
Yeah, I think we mentioned that, right?
Did we?
Yes.
Am I dying as a person here?
We either mentioned it or we mentioned it on a different episode. I feel like we definitely had this conversation because we were like, either this is still Shannon mode, or like there's a bunch of blood, or I don't know. Like I think we mentioned something among those words.
Okay, then tell me if I have mentioned this next thing as well, which is that I was thinking about why is Meta Butler allowed to investigate the crime scene during his battle with Eva Beato? Have we touched upon that?
No.
Hold on. Wait, are you talking about
when they find the cigarette butt?
But yeah, how were they also possible to find the cigarette butt? Yeah.
I don't think Battler himself was able to. It was just Beato who was doing it for him because she was giving him hints, I think.
Okay, no, Beato was telling him where to search and shit.
Yeah.
But ultimately it was Butler doing it. But it was Meta Butler.
No, it was Beato.
No. Beato.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, Beato. Yeah, if you read that part, Beato was the one who fishes the cigarette butt out of the pocket. I'll show you the screenshot of the manga.
No, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter because my point sits up on the fact that they are meta characters and they can only see what the detective sees, right? Because it's the detective doing the fucking investigation. So that must mean that whilst Butler was running behind Eva and she was going insane and running through the mansion looking for the culprit, maybe like Eva went into a room near the corpses or something and Butler was like, I'm gonna take this time to investigate the corpses. And then he finds the cigarette butt and then he confronts Eva about it, and that's why Eva shoots him. And that would also explain why Butler is defending Beato in the meta world, because Butler literally found out Eva was the culprit.
Makes sense.
And confronted her about it.
That actually makes a lot of sense because I think we argued about while all the meta things are happening, what's actually happening on the game board. And I said, I'm pretty sure what's happening on game board is that Battler is just arguing with Eva, being like, look at all these evidence I have against you. You did kill all these people.
All right. So the last thought I have is... it's just that this is the first time in Umineko that we see Butler incriminate someone. And it's interesting because he's only doing this to protect Beato. So good on you, Butler.
Yeah. That's also what I mean by like in EP3, Battler is the closest to maybe if he be able to basically accept that Eva is a murderer, maybe he can accept anybody as a murderer.
Mm-hmm. So the only remaining thoughts I have are just general thoughts about how the episodes have been going, how the podcast, the book club has been going.
Wait, in terms of the book club, like the meta view of our book clubs?
Yeah.
It's going pretty good. I'm like your guys are bringing up things that I haven't caught the first or even second time around rereading Umineko, so it's very fruitful, I'd say. At least for me. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
I think it's a great place to think and discuss Umineko because like everybody brings interesting arguments, and sometimes even though Ambi doesn't speak as much, sometimes he also says something that like we didn't think about, and it's just I think everybody in the book club brings up interesting topics, and we have different enough views on shit that we can have a discussion about it, and I think that's great.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I know I don't talk much, but I always just get so caught up in listening to you guys because it's just like, more thoughts about this series that I really like.
Well, thanks for stroking our egos.
Yeah, my favorite thing is when Ambi listened to Gender 1 and then just starts like live tweeting me like their thoughts on it. And it's just very funny to read.
I also wanted to to go back to story discussion. There was that one line where Angie's like, I'd go back even if I could. I'd like to go back and save at least one family member. And I was like, oh, honey, you've got a big storm coming. But
I like how I feel like this is not even the first time we use that line on the book club, but it's just
because there always is.
I am sure it's not, because I remember you guys getting happy about being able to make whatever reference that is.
I've made so many like weird YouTube video references like this entire time. Even the how to be emo. Oh my god, how to be emo video just came up in here. And
stop saying that. Stop saying that. The more you say that, the more I think about it.
Ryan, why would you do this to us? A whole generation of kids just know how to be emo and ninja.
Oh god. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh, I mean, I enjoy being on book clubs because I was like, if I wasn't saying all these things to you guys right now, I would be literally screaming it into a void.
Yeah.
Or like literally getting triggered every single time I go on r/Umineko.
Same.
And then go like write like paragraph long conversations like there.
Like actually vibe because, you know, when I mentioned this before, when I finished Umineko, I was like, I need to talk to somebody about this. And that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I think what I wanted to say about, besides what I have already said, is that my opinions on the different episodes we have covered and how we have covered them are very different, because I think our episodes on episode 1 are shit. I wouldn't have anyone listen to them. Like, do you guys agree? Or,
I think they're funny. I don't think they're as poignant as they possibly could be, but I think some of them are good. I remember some conversations in EP1. I remember the whole conversation we talked about Kirie and belts. I don't know why that just lamented in my brain.
Yeah, that was the first episode.
I don't even know what we talked about most of the time in EP1.
I think we mostly talked about
the cast.
Not the climate, like the ambient, and not ambience, fucking hell,
how's the weather, guys? This is Umineko. Wow, they've got a big storm coming.
The atmosphere. The atmosphere.
Yes, I think we mostly talked about the atmosphere and our impressions on the characters and stuff like that. And then I think episode 2 and 3 are where we have actually content that I would show people and be proud of.
Yeah, I think EP2, when we finally hit our stride, was probably I think it's when we got to the wolf and sheep puzzle. I'm pretty sure.
Really? I think it's the Halloween episode where Yancy and Horsecam also came in and Lorenzo's boyfriend recorded that amazing line for us to use.
That's really.
Well, wait, did you actually put that in?
Yes.
Oh, glad you did.
Lorenzo exposed. He does not listen to our
okay.
episodes.
It's fine. Des and I are the only people who actually listen to every single episode of this podcast.
I mean, that's all we have ever wanted from editors and, creators.
Yeah, I listen to them because, at the point when I finally finish editing and then plop it on, I actually forget about everything that's in the episode. So I just sit around and be like, oh, that's kind of funny. Or being
yeah.
Being like, wait, I don't agree. And then just hearing myself being like, wait, I don't agree. Literally seconds later.
Yeah, I think we do a pretty good job at keeping our episodes interesting enough.
But yeah. Well, thank you so much for listening to a whole year, I guess. I don't know how many people have listened to since the very beginning.
Yeah, boy. Thanks for sticking around with us. Umineko sucks, and we're glad you were all in it for the ride.
I know I am.
Yep. All right. Well, that's a wrap. See cats do crimes. See you later.
See ya.
Woohoo.
Bye.
Fuck you all. Get out of here. Do something. Get a hobby. That is not Umineko.